Hey trainers, Alakaham here. I am going to showcase a kind of last-minute team video in the Retro Cup here, and this is on rank 15, so I'm trying to get as much rare candy as I can get. The stakes are high for me, and this team is the best one that I've been able to find for the Retro Cup. I have won the majority of games that I have played with it so far, although I have not kept up with exactly what the record for that is going to be. So we've got Dusclops up front to try and deal with any pesky things that might affect the backline for this team. And then I have Fearow, which has been double buffed with its access to Peck. And then I guess it's already had Drill Peck for a little while, but then Peck was... I don't know. Fearow's doing better now. That's the important thing. And there are several of these really challenging normal psychic types running around out there. So Oranguru is one of them, and that's pretty challenging for this team because I am ABA weak to the normal psychic combo teams. I was able to get a shield here. That's pretty good. So Oranguru can do super effective damage with foul play, and it resists my ghost type moves. And then I definitely don't want Komao up against it because Komao is going to be weak to confusion, which has been recently buffed, so that's no good for me all around. Fearow is really the best answer that I have, and Fearow is not all that bulky. I mean, it hits pretty hard now, and I actually really like Fearow. I'm a fan and have been for a long time, so I'm glad it's a little more usable in the Great League right now. Looks like my opponent either quit or they decided that, or their game just stopped working for them, so that's unfortunate, but I think we were in a pretty good place because we were going to be able to get both of those ice punches through against the Golbat, and then against the Altaria we have our Komao, which looks a little bit like the Grinch to me. So mine's nicknamed Hawaiian Grinch because he's green and he's mean and he's got a long face. So that's just some loose association for you. Okay, so that's a basic demonstration of this team and how it works, and this has done really well for me in the Retro Cup, and I'll spend a little more time talking about the decision making and the gameplay moving forward rather than explaining the basic mechanics of the team. Here we have a Charizard, and I'm going to go ahead and stay in here because Fearow would get farmed down very easily. It doesn't have very much bulk, and then Komao is going to be taking super effective damage. So I am deciding to stay in and to go for Shadow Punches so that I can spam off as many attacks as I can. And we can tank a Blast Burn, as you see. So Dusclops is pretty bulky, and mine is XL, and so it's going to have a little bit more strength than maybe some others. And here we see a Torterra, and I have not updated the moveset on my Torterra yet, but I'm really excited for Torterra to have Mud Slap. And so here is an updated Torterra, and that's very cool that my opponent has this on their team. Fortunately for me, we've got Fearow doing super effective damage with Peck and Drill Peck. Definitely do not want to get hit by a Stone Edge. I couldn't remember for sure if they had access to a rock type move, but I was thinking that they had some coverage against flyers, so I'm really glad that I used the shield there. I'm going to go ahead and throw that Drill Peck to get the last shield, and basically I'm just pressuring them to throw their energy by bringing out my Komao. So Fearow should be able to close this game. They are energy dry on their Torterra, and I'm going to come in and try to peck down. Glad I hung on to a shield because the new move Upper Hand, which I ran out of charge TMs and don't have Upper Hand on my Komao, but Upper Hand charges a little bit more quickly, and they were able to get to that move. Fortunately, we had enough energy on Fearow to be able to pull things out in the end, and they were double weak to flying. Flyers are really common right now, and that's because Peck made them so much better, and several of them got access to new moves like Drill Peck. So how many times can I use the word Peck in one video, right? So having some kind of answer to flyers is important, and that's part of why I have Dusclops up front, because of access to Ice Punch. I'm going to go ahead and go for a sort of trick here by throwing Shadow Punch, but they were willing to tank it. We could have KO'd them with an Ice Punch, but I took a calculated risk and it did not work out for me. And that Dragon Claw did a lot of damage. But now we are in a solid place where a Shadow Punch will definitely knock out. So we'll see if they shield or they do not shield. They bring in Trevenant. So I'm trying desperately to get to that next move. Can't quite do it. That's fine because Fearow resists absolutely everything from Trevenant. Grass-type moves are resisted by flying. Ghost-type moves are resisted by normal. So the normal flying typing is really, really good in this particular cup. And I'm going to go ahead and overfarm just a tad, then throw the Drill Peck. And they have a Medicham in the back. Excellent, because once again, my opponent is double weak to flying, so we just have to make sure to protect the Fearow, and everything's going to be good. Going to bring in the Kommo-o to do whatever damage I can or pressure shields, but ultimately we're saving both of our shields for Fearow. Actually, I do need to get one move off here because I need that last shield, so this will either KO or force the shield, but we do not want to get farmed down by the power-up punch like charge moves and then the fast move damage that's going to get ramped up and come from that. So if you're the Fearow, you like I was, you've really got to worry about fast move damage because Fearow is not all that bulky. You might have also noticed I played this right after the app update, the most recent one, and so there's at the bottom of the screen by the charge moves, it does tell you whether something will be super effective or whether it will be not very effective. And I have mixed feelings about that because on the one hand, I do think it reduces the decision-making strain, and so that makes gameplay a little bit more accessible, not only in terms of ease of decision-making, but also for newcomers who might not have the typing memorized. On the other hand, I think knowing that stuff has kind of just been a part of gameplay and is maybe part of the competition. So I don't know, I have mixed feelings about it. I also have mixed feelings about this game and the decisions that I have been making so far here. I let the Fearow go with the idea that they were going to automatically knock it out, but instead they very wisely used Grass Knot. So you could see in the lower right-hand corner there that I had a super effective move loaded up. They wisely used Grass Knot so that they could farm down and get more energy, and then they did some energy to the Dusclops. And I'm not sure what to do here because I don't have a lot of offense up front either, but now they've got an Oranguru in the back, and Oranguru beats both of my remaining Pokemon. The only thing that I had that would do any kind of decent damage here was the Fearow. So I'm just going to hope that they let all these Ice Punches through, which they do, but that's not going to matter. Again, my opponent makes a really good call here. Instead of throwing the super effective Foul Play, they go for Trailblaze to ramp up the damage that their fast move Confusion is going to do. And so my Kommo-o is getting absolutely shredded, and even though I have shields up, it does not matter. And because Dragon Tail is actually doing a little bit less damage now, it's generating more energy, but it does a little bit less damage, I am not chunking away at Oranguru's health the way that I hoped that I would. So I may actually, after this, build a team around some normal psychic types because they seem to be doing pretty well in this meta. Something I might try tonight. And then another cool team on the back end here. They have a Flapple. I have never battled against a Flapple. And then they safe swap into old Dracula there himself, Gliscor. The ground bat thing. I'm going to throw an Ice Punch, and I'm actually staying in here because both of my other Pokemon do super effective damage against Flapple, so I don't have to worry about which Pokemon goes into that matchup. Instead, because I have an energy advantage here, I want to try and get rid of this Gliscor. And I knew that Ice Punch is the only super effective offense that I had on it. Okay, here's another normal type in the back. Again, normal type's really popular right now. So my best answer to that is Coma-O, but I figured they might bring in Flapple, and if they did, I would have a super effective charge move ready to go. So I throw the Clanging Scales, and I am going to be able to get to another one if they don't take out the Coma-O. But I realize I can actually close this game with Fearow as long as I'm careful. And so what I need to do is save the shield, and I'm going to come in with Dusclops. Not sure this was the absolute best move, but came in with Dusclops to use the Ice Punch, and then hoping I can get to Drill Peck before my opponent gets to a couple of wild charges, and we are able to close the game. So Fearow working really well. This is a very fun team. I definitely enjoyed getting to play it. It's very competitive in the Retro Cup. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll have more content ready for you sometime soon. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed. I'll see you next time, trainers.